everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Lessons with Guitar Man. My name's Aaron, and I'll be your designated driver here today for June Apple version number 3. Alright, so what I basically did with this tune was take the melody, and instead of going to the root from the 5th to the flatted 7th to the root like the actual melody, which is, I actually go to the 3rd and bounce off of that, and I also do it here in this really low register, which gives it kind of a rumbly, growly type tone. Alright, and if you're looking for the backing tracks, the iReal profiles, the guitar profiles, the ending lick, the PDF documents, and so much more information, you can head on over to my Patreon page at patreon.com/lessonswithguitarman, and all that content will be available there for you. And most importantly, support me to continue to make great content for each and one of you guitar enthusiasts out there. So let's go ahead and dive right in there and see what makes this thing work. All right, right here at the pickup line, you're gonna have an open, 2, open, 2, and then we're off to the first measure. And right here in the first measure, you're going to see a 4, 2, open, 2. And again, that was 4, 2, open, 2. And the next 4 notes of that measure, you're going to notice, are exactly the same as the first 4 notes, so there's nothing new to learn there. You just repeat the same pattern twice, and that's going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, and moving on to measure number 2, you're going to have a 4, open, 3, 2. 4, open, 3, 2. And the next 4 notes of that measure are going to be an open, 3, open, 1, open, 3, open, 1. Okay, and that whole measure together is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, and moving on to measure number 3, what you're going to see here is a 2, 1, open, 1. And that's a 2, 1, open, 1. And you'll notice that the next 4 notes are exactly the same as the first 4 notes in measure 3. So you basically, again, repeat those 4 notes over again like we did in measure number 1. And that whole measure together is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, and moving on to measure number 4 now, what we're going to have here is a 2, open, 2, open. Again, that was 2, open, 2, open. Followed by a 2, 3, open, 2. 2, 3, open, 2. And that whole measure together is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, well, let's go ahead now and play through the first 4 measures slowly and see what that sounds like. So 1, 2, ready, go. And moving on to measure number 5, what you're going to see here is measure number 5 is exactly the same as measure number 1, so there's nothing new to learn there. All right, and measure number 6 is almost the same as measure number 2, except for the last 2 notes. The last 2 notes in measure number 6 are 3, open, and in measure number 2, they're open 1. So that whole measure together is going to sound almost like measure number 2, but you're going to add that last 3 open, and that whole measure together is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. right, and moving on to measure number 7 now, what you're going to see here is a 3, 2, 3, open. A 3, 2, 3, open. Followed by a 2, open, 3, 2. 2, open, 3, 2. Okay, and that whole measure together, or measure number 7, is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, and moving on to measure number 8, what you're going to have here is a slide from 3 to 5, followed by a double stop on 5 and 4, and then another double stop. So it's 3 to 5, slide, 2 double stops, and then the last 2 notes are an open, 2. And that whole measure together is going to sound like so. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, well, let's go ahead now and play through the entire A section slowly and see what that sounds like. So 1, 2, you know what to do. All right, some final thoughts on this tune for you. Basically, what I did here in the A section was go up to the 3rd here and bounce off that C sharp right here, or the 4th fret on the A string. So there's not a whole lot of tricky stuff going on there. It's just... but when you jump down to the G string on the 3rd time around, you go... and then right here, you got to, instead of going back to this note, you do an open and jump to the 3 here. And that's a little bit tricky. Just pay attention to the tab there and you'll get it. And it kind of looks like this. See how I jump from... and that's what lets me jump over there. And then when you get to the G, and because when I bounced on the A chord to the 3rd, I figured, you know what, why not bounce off the 3rd going to the G chord? So I walk up to this B, or the 3rd of G here, this note right here, and bounce off of that. Back to the 3rd thing of A. And then to tie the A section off, I basically just do a little thing on the root of G, and slide from 3 to 5, and do a double stop, and do a down up like that. Other than that, I don't think there's too much more to say in the A section. The idea behind this actually came from a video that Doc Watson did many years ago of East Tennessee Rag, or East Tennessee Blues, depending who you're talking to. He taught that song, you know, in the high register and then came down here and played in the low register, and I thought that was just absolutely fantastic. So with a lot of the tunes that I play out in the world today, I always do that, where I'll learn the melody up top, a low rumbly version, put one in the middle, maybe one up here, whatever. But I think it just gives a unique flavor to your playing. It gives you a nice variation to the way that you play tunes, and I just really enjoy the way it works. All right, well, that's a wrap on this tune. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. If you have any questions for me, feel free to send me an email listed below in the description. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, because that really helps me out, and I'll be seeing you down the road.